Welcome to the After Eight show. And I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and festive season. I know some of you don't celebrate Christmas, but enjoy the holiday, enjoy the break. I hope you're having a wonderful time with families and friends near and far. So we are here. Yes, we do not miss a week. We are here to entertain you, have fun, laughter, debate, conversation. We got it all here. And music, we got it all. And joining the panel, we have, oh yes, we have the king of independent dancehall and funk, none other than DJ Boozadelic. Hey, DJ Boozadelic, how are you?
Hey, what go on, me people? Sometimes it slips out of me, y'all.
Sometimes it comes out. You're getting there. You're getting there, Boozadelic. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, everything good with you?
Yeah, I had a quiet Christmas. It was nice and pleasant. Spent it with family, and now I'm back home. I'm back
All
home.
right.
So I was away for 2 days. I'm back home. Yeah, so it was nice and pleasant. Thank you. And we have Thank you, Haywood, the Queen of Philadelphia.
Wagwan, don't test me now. Don't test me now.
Yes,
Don't test you.
Don't test me now.
Wagwan.
Wagwan, don't test me now.
Me not test you. Me not test you. Look on you.
see, the queen of Boozadelic is rubbing off on her.
Do you know what? Right, when
Yes.
I said the Queen of Philadelphia, I had in the background Queen of Philadelphia, and I was like, no, don't do it, don't do it. And that's not.
Yeah, me have no name, me queen of Boozadelic, yes.
How was your Christmas? Thank you, eh?
It was good. I was able to really surprise my daughter. So
Oh,
it was nice just seeing the smile on her face with one of the presents that I got her. So she's at that age where now she's into the name brand stuff. So
ooh,
I thought I at least have another year or two, but
kicked in
nah.
early. Just kicked in early.
Yeah, but I'm the mom of the year, at least for the next few days. I'll probably piss her off soon. So
Ah, oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad you had a
yeah,
lovely Christmas and your
yeah.
daughter had
Yeah,
a
because
lovely.
I've been a bad Santa. She done seen everything that I got her, so she really wasn't surprised. I even lied and said it's for the kids at the church. And but this other gift, which had to be delivered, she had no clue. So it was nice to see her reaction with that.
Oh,
Nice.
lovely.
Yeah,
By curiosity, because that's his nosy. What was it?
it was a pair of Nike sneakers, Jordans. They were purple and white.
Ooh,
Nice.
ooh.
And
Oh, that's
so
nice.
for her birthday, she wanted them for her birthday, and we went to
Yeah.
3 different stores, and they didn't have them. They were sold out in her size, and so she said, "Well, I'm impatient, so I'm just gonna take something here in the store." So she got a pair of white shoes, and I'm like, "Why would you want white?" Like, but okay. So she got the white Nikes, but then when I saw the purple and white ones online, I ordered them, and they came just in time for Christmas, so she was not
Oh,
expecting it at all.
that's beautiful, isn't it? She'll
Yeah,
remember that. She will
yeah.
remember that for the rest of her life. It's those little things that, that stand out. You never forget it. You never
No,
forget it. Yeah.
no.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh,
So, were
Yeah.
those the Jordan 11s?
I don't know what they are.
Oh, because I was when you said that, I was thinking because I was online and saw on Finish Line they had the 11s, the white with the purple trim on it for 90 bucks or something like that, $95. So I went ahead and ordered some of those for myself.
Oh, okay, okay. I wish she was still in toddler size. I said, "Oh my
Oh yeah.
god, it's over, Adasa. It's over."
it's over. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
No more Walmart light up shoes for me. I could get like 3 pairs and still have money left over. Not anymore.
Oh yeah.
Oh, lovely. That's so lovely. And we have our guest here today. Our guest, we've got a little bit different today. We have a reggae and gospel artist.
All right.
All the way from the Caribbean, the Bahamas, hot, sunny, lovely Bahamas, And one of the ways that they greet is to say "Wale."
Wale, okay.
Well,
Hello, Wale. Wale. Hello, Mr.J is here.
Flying high, it's God's will.
All
Grace,
right.
mercy, and peace to all. Give blessings for it all.
blessings.
That wallet, that's a personal greetings.
Oh,
Wale.
that's not okay. That's confined just for me. Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
that's a dancing
Oh,
song.
oh.
Uh-oh.
Get him out of here. What you talking about? So you get a special greeting.
I get special treatment, you see.
What we get? Ah,
For those that didn't know,
Maybe I
Tanqueray
will
had the
have one
eject
for you
button.
next time.
I get special treatment, you see. Sorry, I let the cat out the bag.
Yeah, you did, big time.
mm, mm, mm.
Do you know what? Right, I think last week one of my sisters,
I'm out of here.
I wanted to tell her something, and then I kind of blinked. You give a little wink. Like you give someone a wink because you don't want to say the full story in front of everybody else, and you kind of give them that look like that. And she does not understand body language whatsoever. It's one of those people like, what did you, why are you blinking? Why? It's like, oh my goodness.
Mm.
You just don't get it. So I think I had that moment today.
Mhm.
How are
I
you,
guess
Mr. J?
it rubbed off on you. Her thing rubbed off on you.
The power of DNA and genetics. That's all I can say.
And that's right. But don't worry, I know it won't happen again.
And I'm always telling her off about that, I'm always
Uh,
saying, just get the point. She's like, oh, I can't get the point. I can't get the point. Just say it straight.
uh,
uh,
yeah, she just doesn't want to hurt her brain to try and get it. Some people are like that,
yeah, her daughter knew what I meant. Her daughter's like, Mom, I know what auntie meant.
Oh, worse if it's a female trying to hint something to her guy and he doesn't get it. Oh Lord, that's hell and brimstone for him.
No, you men don't get it sometimes. I'm not. It's like, what?
You know why we don't get it? Because
Why?
man, we're like basic thinkers, point A to point B. Y'all want to take a right, take a left, go through a chicane or two, then hit the clover leaf, and then get to where we got just from going to point A to point B. And we take everything literally. Y'all be saying one thing and mean another.
You do take things literally as well. You do. You do that, but you got to learn the art of like a little bit of the subtleties as well. Do you know?
Yeah, it's just
And,
like,
and as much as women know that about men, they still insist on being complicated with us.
yeah. I mean, it goes. That's obvious in like a primary school. Like when I was in school, boys, we just had like the 8-color box of crayons. The girls had the 64. Then a couple years later, when 128, we see red, green, blue, and black. Y'all see you got about 50 different color of blues.
Do you know what color turquoise is?
Yes.
Yeah, now that one I do know because our house used to be turquoise when I was growing up. But
okay.
Yeah, I know turquoise. I'm not a big fan on turquoise. You have to be really sophisticated to I've seen turquoise and it's looked really nice, like turquoise and sort of ivory put together, ivory and silver. And you got to have it a certain way. Oh,
Uh-huh.
you got it. You got it. You got to match it a certain way for it to, in my eyes, for it to kind of work. It can work, but you got to be quite artistic with it.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Mr. J, what part of the Bahamas are you from?
Nassau. Nassau City,
Okay.
which is the capital.
I had the pleasure this summer on my 60th birthday. I took a cruise and I got to go hang out in Nassau for a while.
Oh, you did?
Yep. And I got to sit in the surf there on a beautiful beach. Had one of them
Mhm.
pineapples with I don't know how much rum they poured in that bad boy, but I mean, I was feeling nice.
A lot they poured.
Yes, I had it. I mean, that was probably the best vacation that I've ever had so far. I've really enjoyed my time there.
Okay, awesome. So which beach were you guys on?
I can't remember the name of it. There was pretty close to this okay, you know when you go across this bridge and they turned left and took us to this like resort and then the beach was right around the corner from that. Um
Over the bridge, that would be Paradise Island.
okay, that's where it was, Paradise Island.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
we were over
then
there.
there's the Atlantis Hotel over there.
Yes.
Okay, so y'all were okay. So I guess you guys went over to Atlantis theme park or water park.
No, we didn't go down to the Atlantis property because since we weren't staying there, that cost a lot of money. But so we caught
Oh,
a taxi from the hotel that they dropped us off at and went over to the beach, which was probably about I would say maybe about a half-mile walk at the most from where we were at.
uh-huh.
And we got to like this dead end around some apartment complexes and had to walk up this like hill, and then boom, you're right there on the beach.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Wasn't crowded, huh?
It wasn't that bad. I think there was more the guys out there hustling, trying to sell us, or rent us umbrellas and trying to sell us smoke and all that kinds of stuff. But it
Yeah,
was
that's how they make their daily living.
yeah. And so we were able to bargain them down to get because there was a group of like 6 of us, so we got like 6 chairs and 6 umbrellas and the drinks for a pretty reasonable price. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you bargain, you definitely will get a deal because, hey, at the end of the day, they're there to make a few dollars. Not a
yeah,
little bit, but something that's satisfactory for them.
right. And
Hmm.
so they treated us so well. I had to leave them a little something on the way out, to let them know
It's
I
called
appreciate.
tip.
Yeah.
There's an artist here in the Bahamas who made a song about that tip tip tip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what people over here likes. They love to be tipped.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
So, Mr. J, so we call you Mr. J, or do we call you Mr. J Bahamas? Which one?
yeah, it's Mr. J. A lot of people say Mr. J Bahamas because it's on my Facebook.
Uh huh.
And the reason I have myself as Mr. J Bahamas on Facebook is at the time when I joined Facebook, there
Mm-hmm.
were so many persons with that name, Mr. J, Mr. J, Mr. J from Costa
Oh,
Rica, Mr. J from here, Mr. J from there. And I discovered when looking for my name,
yeah.
it wouldn't populate because I wasn't popular on Facebook as yet. For
Yes.
some reason, I think that's how Facebook algorithm was at that particular time. So it wasn't populating. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought about how am I gonna um, be found. So I decided, I'm gonna just put Bahamas on it,
Yeah.
and I don't think anybody else should have Mr. J Bahamas, and I haven't seen anybody else with Mr. J Bahamas. So, but it's Mr. J.
Mr. J. And you know
Uh,
what? Mr. J Bahamas does ring a bell. I love Mr. J Bahamas. But anyway, that's just my personal
Mr. J
opinion.
from the Bahamas.
So you do reggae and gospel. So what came first? Did the reggae come first or did the gospel come first?
Well, actually, the genre is gospel reggae.
Mm,
Um, I started off doing gospel reggae because at the time I was probably around maybe 20 something.
mhm,
At 20 something, No, actually, at 19 is when I went through a conversion in my life. I accepted Christ and decided to follow the Christ way.
Yes.
I was into reggae, but not as an artist, just as an average fan, listener, and that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But I didn't have an inclination at all to be a part of, the music industry and that sort of stuff. It was only after my conversion and, coming to the realization of, for some reason, it wasn't apparent of the a lot of the messages in a lot of the reggae songs of how a lot of them had negative connotation, sexual connotation, and a lot of stuff that really can lead young minds astray and being influenced. As however persons want to put it, music has an influence, and music also contributes in some decision making folks make based on the messages that they heard. And I experienced it for myself, so I know that that's something that is real, despite how persons want to dispute that and say it's only entertainment and everybody has their own mind, they can make up their own mind, but it has its influence. That's just the full stop of it. And so after being converted, and I started to become more aware of the messaging in a lot of the songs, and I realized that, hey, these songs, that's speaking about sex and speaking about women in such derogatory ways, and programming the minds of young men to see females as, you know, a sex tool or a piece of meat, just as a sex object, something that you could, grope at and just desire sexually, and that's how you see women first and foremost. You don't really, um, pay attention to woman's intelligence and other attributes of her. You first pay attention to her body and how sexy she looked and looks and all of that. And so I decided that I was going to go on a pursuit of reggae and dancehall, because there's a difference between reggae music and there's a difference between dancehall music.
Oh,
Reggae music, for those who maybe listen and don't know, reggae music is more of that cultural flavor, and the sound is different, where the beat isn't as hardcore and bass kicking as the dancehall. And so um, dancehall and reggae are two separate genres. That's how I look at it, because
yeah.
they're not really the same. And so I was on this pursuit of finding clean reggae music and clean dancehall music to listen to, because I love and still love reggae and dancehall music. But it was a tough challenge, because there were not any um, Christians who were involved in gospel, reggae, nor dancehall at that particular time. That was back in 1994. The first group that I came across that more was on the reggae flavor was a gentleman from Jamaica. Um, um, his wife, I'm remembering his wife's name. I'm trying to remember his name. Susie and, oh my goodness, I can't remember Lester Lewis. Yes, Lester Lewis and his wife. They were a reggae, gospel reggae duo, but their fashion of reggae presentation, it was more like old school, nothing like the up to date reggae that was around at that time. However,
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't really my flavor like that, because coming out of the world of listening to that that solid type of reggae music and dancehall, it was
Hmm.
kind of like almost like a, so to speak, more watered down, so to speak. It didn't really have that strong flavor of it. And after coming across Lester Lewis, um, in my pursuit, I came across another artist here in the Bahamas, and he's considered as the godfather of gospel reggae, or and gospel dancehall in the Bahamas. His name is Christ. Actually, the group's name, they came out as a group, Christian Massive, which was led by a guy by the name of Kent Johnson. And Christian Massive was a big old group of artists that came together doing gospel and reggae and in dancehall, which was a phenomenon here in the Bahamas because before '93 we didn't have that. And when Christian Massive came on the scene, they they were not really embraced because the church at that time they were not they were not open nor receptive to reggae nor dancehall in the churches or anywhere near them because because of the secular counterparts who presented reggae and dancehall. A lot of the messaging that they talked about, the church did not embrace it because a lot of the messaging were, like I alluded to, a lot with negative connotation, sexual messages, etc., and that sort of stuff.
So how did you sell it? How did you um, as they say, broke out in the church with the reggae vibes and the dancehall vibes, but with holy Christian lyrics injected into it?
Okay.
How did
Well,
how did you convert the church to embrace it?
well, it was nothing of my doing. The change and adoption really came about because of Christian Massive and a few other guys
Hmm.
after him who took a lot of backlashes, but they continued on anyhow. And at that time, my role that I was playing as a new convert was that I was going into neighborhoods with their songs and using them as a tool of evangelism because the messages were centered around salvation, centered around godliness, centered around Christ, centered around um, recognizing our need for a change, to turn away whether it was from violence at the time, to turn away whether it was from a promiscuous lifestyle
Yeah.
folks were living, to turn away, from acts of
So,
stealing or
Mr.
whatever.
J, so
Right.
Mr.
So
J, when you was doing the evangelism, was you knocking on people's door 8 o'clock in the morning?
I
I won't
no,
say who does that. I won't
no,
say
I
who does.
I never went that early. I never went that early. When I started doing door to door, myself and it was myself and my sister first actually. We
Okay.
would go more like in the afternoon and walk about in our neighborhood where we lived, and we'd do that. And then it grew into myself and a couple other brothers from church. Every Saturday, we would go into neighborhoods in the afternoon, and we would
Oh,
go
in the
talking to people.
afternoon
Yeah,
when everyone's wide awake. And we
yeah. We
do
never.
know, we do know that back in the day there were people knocking on the door early in the morning when you want a little lie-in because you've had a long day at work, knocking at the door, and it's like it's
Well,
okay.
what I absolutely hated before I became converted, I absolutely hated being home, chilling out, watching TV. Then all of a sudden, I'm hearing on the loudspeaker, somebody's preaching and this and that. I didn't like that, but not understanding the principle of it, because the principle of it in um, Christianity is that before Christ ascended into the heavens, he said to his disciples to go into all the world and proclaim the gospel in the highways and in the byways. That means that you have to physically get up and either go and wherever people are, find them to talk to them or go to their houses and speak to them. And you also had persons that preached the gospel by means of using a megaphone at that time when they didn't have access to loudspeakers. They would either be in the marketplace or on a corner, etc., etc. And so that's how it was done, and that's how I started doing it as well when I decided to go out into the communities with the music. I presented the gospel and reggae, the gospel dancehall and reggae music in that format first. But it was not until 2003 I was listening to an album by one of the artists by the name of Peter Ronks, who came up with an album. And listening to it, I used to sing along with the songs that were playing. And that's how I discovered that I was able to chat. And so when I discovered that, and I thought to myself, I may as well start writing my own songs and finding some beats and, you know, singing them. And that's
Mm.
what I started doing. And in 2003, I met a friend on Yahoo. Don't know if you guys remember Yahoo. Remember all those chat rooms, that sort of
No, I never
thing?
went on the chat room. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. No, no, not for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I used to go in the Caribbean chat rooms, the African chat rooms, the Chinese chat, all of those chat rooms. And the thing about those chat rooms at that time, it was whoever can take control of the microphone so that you
Oh,
could talk whatever you want in the group. And if you were lucky, you didn't get boot off the mic or just boot out of the room. And so that's how the chat rooms were. And I went into one of the Filipino chat rooms, grabbed the mic, started, doing foolishness in there, and they booted me off the mic and booted me out of the chat room. Then I ended into the one of the Caribbean chat rooms, and it was in one of the Caribbean chat rooms that I heard some gospel, reggae, and dancehall being played. And when I listened, it was Stitchy.
oh, Lieutenant Stitchy.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Stitchy. I think
Oh,
Stitchy in
yes.
'97.
Was
In
that before he
'97, Stitchy.
converted into Christianity or after?
Yes, I think that was back in '97 when he converted. But I didn't hear about Stitchy until 2003.
Oh,
And my
right.
friend
Okay.
who was in the chat room, his name is DJ Evangelist. He lives in Canada.
Right.
He was playing gospel, reggae, dancehall in the chat rooms, and he was the only gospel DJ at that time that would be in those chat rooms playing. And hearing it, I sent a message to him. We started talking, et cetera, and he invited me to Canada. And the following
Okay.
year, in 2004, I went to Canada and we did a show called Sunsplash, SON,
Oh,
All
okay.
and that
right.
was
Yeah.
my first international debut. And
Oh,
we became good friends, and we're still good friends today. And
okay.
that's how I
He's
really got
very good.
into. That's how I got into the music aspect as an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
the stories. Do you know, and I know like a lot of people when they give their life to Christ and religion at early age, because you were still relatively young, 19,
19.
you know, um, and now you're 30 now, isn't it?
No.
Just a baby, man.
You're still a
Yeah.
baby. You're still a baby. Do you know?
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm 48.
Still a baby.
You're still a baby.
Uh,
Thank you. That's a compliment. Thank you.
yeah. I was listening to everything you were saying about like the whole dance hall and the reggae and then the whole Christian aspects and all that. And I was thinking like, well, to start things off, I'm a son of a Jamaican. So my grandma was actually born in Mandeville, Jamaica, and I
Mm,
remember her sister used to come visit her, my great aunt Maida, and I used to be fascinated just with she would have the patois dialect and she'd be speaking. I just thought it was so cool. But my dad didn't want to have anything to do with his Jamaican culture. He was just
what?
trying to be all never told me anything about it. And so in high school, I heard of Bob Marley because like all the white kids were listening to Bob Marley, but the black kids, we were just all into the funk and the R&B type stuff. And people looked at reggae music I heard some people even call it jungle music, and I was like, man, there's something about that bass and stuff that I really love. And so when I got to college, I lived in a town that was a lot of hippies and stuff, and so you had a lot of reggae acts that would come through between Eugene and Corvallis, Oregon. And so the first concert I got to see was Yellow Man and the Mighty Diamonds, and I absolutely fell in love with the music. Started playing the in college. I was on the radio down there. I started playing a reggae show like a couple times a week, and I got into like Steel Pulse and Black Uhuru. And what I noticed about Steel Pulse, like that one song they have, Chant a Psalm a Day, a lot of it is, faith based in their music. And then even the dance hall back then, I heard you mention the difference between them, and I like to think of it as dance hall is kind of like the Jamaican flavored hip hop part of the music, like hip hop is the funk. It's just it has a different type of beat. And even though some of the lyrics back then might have been similar to the reggae, I mean now it's a completely different thing. Because like, I grew up, well, not grew up, but I remember when I first heard my first dance hall cut, I think it was like Super C. It was some underground stuff out of New York City with that song I play on my station now, our station, Bad Boy. And I was really getting into the vibe and all that. And then it's like when I started doing the reggae dance hall show, I play a lot of 80s dance hall music. But then when I started playing some of the newer stuff, it was like, man, I can't play this one on our program. I can't play that one because it got all sexualized and talking about, gangster stuff, kind of like the same way that the rap music went and all that. And so I would love to, find out about these artists that actually do more of a gospel type dance hall music and stuff, and get them on there, because even when I go to my record pool, a lot of the songs I hear don't have a clean version that I can play on my show. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
but yeah, I appreciate the story behind it that you gave, the history and all that, and for me, reggae music is a music that has always spoke to me ever since I first fell in love with it. I love the sound of a good roots reggae song. I love the rubber dub stuff. So I'd have to say I listen to that more than I listen to anything nowadays.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
gospel reggae because it's just so clean. I love gospel reggae and just conscious reggae music because it's just nice and clean, and it's just talking about getting together. It's talking about positivity, anything positive, and all the other stuff is really not necessary. It's really crude and insulting to many different types of people, and I'm not a supporter of any of that, and I just think it's just not necessary. And personally, I think the records would sell more if it was clean.
Well, by you saying that, right? Um, I think to myself sometimes that a lot of artists, they are forced, so to speak, to go that way. Let's take, for example, Adasa. You guys may know an artist by the name of Fantan Moja.
Yes.
Mama hungry, Papa hungry. Okay,
Mm.
when Fantan Moja came out, Fantan Moja was, I mean, he was just solid, inspirational, conscious, and everything, right? And I don't know what happened, but it seemed as if, because they say there's been a fight against reggae in preference of dancehall and all the violent dancehall music, that is the gangster type of dancehall music. And so people have become so gravitated and in love with it that they kind of like push the conscious artists at the back, at the back on the at the back bench, right? So much so that an artist by the name of Bushman, he was
Yeah.
at
Mm. Yeah.
an event, and when Bushman was being interviewed, Bushman, he actually was in tears. He was in tears because of how he felt reggae artists were being sidelined, and the amount of time that he got on stage at that time, he was robbed of that time, and he was so hurt by it. He was in tears and lamented how it is so sad now that people prefer all this violence and decadence in the music over the good quality, clean reggae vibes that artists like Fantan Mojah, Bushman, Luciano, all those guys they bring. And so
It's the
Fantan
money.
Mojah seems to have been losing traction or whatever or
Yeah.
popularity because it seems like he was not getting booked much, he was not getting
Mm.
much shows or anything. So Fantan Mojah looks like he decided to come up with a different game plan where he came out with a very raunchy song and music video. I don't remember the name of the song, but
Mm.
it's a sexual type of song, very explicit, and the video was even the same. Society, the fans, they seem to gravitate to more towards violence, more towards promiscuity, and that sort of thing. And so now the artists, it appears as if they think in their mind in order to be relevant and to get a bus, so to speak, and to be popular and to go viral and to stream, is that this is what they have to do. They have to talk about the violence. They have to talk about the girls in such a way that they are accepted, and this is how they get their plays and their invitations and that sort of thing. And so society really are the ones that seem to put these artists in a corner where they have to bring the raunchy stuff and the violent stuff and the dirty stuff, because if they don't, then nobody's
They're
going to
not
pay
going
any
to get
attention
the
to them.
traction. They're not going to get the traction. They're not going to get the money. It's basically the money. Is they're not going to get the contracts. They're not going to get the airplay. They're not going to get the gigs, the events. They're just going to be sidelined. And so because these people want the money, they want the fame, they want to materialistic change their lives from a material point of view
Yeah.
and get out of um some of them are not in poverty, some are in poverty, but not all of them are in poverty, but they want a lavish lifestyle. They equate lavish lifestyle with success. They want the biggest house. They want the biggest car. And society has set up a lot of people to think, okay, once you've got the biggest house, the biggest car, the fanciest jewelry, is the designer clothes, then you've arrived. You've made it. But then at what cost have you made it? You've had to compromise. You've had to do many things against your grain, and it's in your conscience.
Yeah.
So everybody has a conscience, and so their conscience eats away at them, you know. And I'll go a little bit deep, but I won't go too deep. And then what happens, people get frustrated, the artists get frustrated, they actually get angry within themselves, but they won't admit it. And so that anger now translates in their music and their live performances. And it's almost like they've they've morphed into something else because of this attack and this self-hatred. It's a perpetuating cycle of self-hatred, and so they're getting deeper and deeper into it, wanting to get more fame, more fame, more money, thinking it's going to make them happy and happy and happier, and they're getting deeper into it, and actually they're getting more angrier because they're recognizing themselves less and less and less, and getting sucked into this different world, so to speak.
I got a theory behind all that. So I'll try to not go too deep with this myself. But
Mm.
remember back in the 80s, you might not, Mr. J, but there's this corny song called Video Killed the Radio Star.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
Okay, so then you have all of a sudden you're putting these videos out there, and videos, media stuff, that's all programming, which gets into your subconsciousness. And
Mm-hmm.
so people like the sex, people like the violence. And so the video started gravitating towards that. the big labels, the executives say, okay, we're not going to put stuff out here that's talking about global consciousness and doing right things and, singing about, um, Jesus and all that type of stuff. We're going to put stuff out here that's really going to sell and make the big dollars. And so then you got the artists. They're like, okay, I want all that. I want to have to start putting this in my music. And so that's how we went. And the same thing happening all across all genres of music. I mean, because before video, people were actually writing real good songs and stuff. I mean, you had to really be able to have a message out there that's going to be like catchy and all that. But now it's just like half the time, I don't think they're listening to the words. They're just watching what's happening. You got girls out there twerking. You got brothers out there counting out a whole bunch of money and waving pistols and flashing jewelry and all that type of stuff. That's what is appealing to the masses, and that's what's making good money. But that's what I appreciate about a lot of the independent artists that I work with, that they're all about keeping that consciousness, keeping it real and all that. And so it's a shame what's happening to the music. And like, I've been places. I remember the first time I went to a bar that was playing like dance hall, and they were playing all that raunchy dance hall. I mean, after a few drinks, I kind of got caught up in it, man. It was just buck wild in there. But then you turn around and go to like a reggae show where you're just playing a good vibe with the roots music and all that, and you see a totally different atmosphere. The women actually have clothes on, and people are just like, vibing and having a good time. You don't see anybody getting into any fights and all that. So it all goes back to the introduction of video into music. I think that's what really set this whole thing in motion.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, people need to be really real to themselves. This and honest. They don't need to be honest to anybody else, but honest to themselves. This thing of self-hatred is very real, and we all have a conscience. We all have a conscience, some more than others, and we know when we're doing something right, and we know when we're doing something that doesn't feel right. Um, but some of them get stuck into this rat race. They get stuck into the terms and the conditions of things. Some of them, their well-being will be compromised if they don't comply. There's all sorts of
Oh
things.
yeah.
They've got themselves into a web,
Mm.
basically. Um, and there are many that don't want to do what they're doing, but they can't. They find it difficult to come out of it.
Yeah.
That's a serious thing right there. What you said concerning their well-being being compromised, as
Yeah.
it's even shocking to think that if a person decide to use their option of choice to not to do something, that they would be compromised in such a way where somebody else would feel like, oh, you're gonna cause me lose whatever, whatever. Then okay, you're gonna have to get it. It's crazy.
But the key people that are usually captured are young people because they're susceptible, and vulnerable people. People who want to escape, poverty or their way of life. They want, bag of gold. They want a different lifestyle. These people are impressionable, and so those are the easy targets. So anybody coming through, the musical world, the people really to look after and to harness and to send the message through are those people, the vulnerable people and young people as well. So they really really pay attention to what they're really getting into, and make sure whatever they're getting into is honest and sincere, and not some rat game.
Yeah, that makes me think about adhering to certain principles. If we could remember principles
Yeah.
and adhere to principles, then I think principles will help guide us and steer us away from certain paths that can be destructive to our lives, and lead us into a path that may not be uh, as popular as some persons think it is, but then at least it will make sure that we are in a secure environment. And one of those principles, it says that for the love of money is the root of all evil. Some people get it mixed up and say money is the root of all evil, but the scriptures never said money is. It says for the love of money is. Now, when we think about love, some people say, well, well, you as a Christian, you work and you make money, so that means you love money, so you're evil. No, but when we look at love, that's described as an insatiable desire where one just cannot be satisfied. No matter what amount you have, you always want more and more and more of it. You can never be satisfied with the amount of money you have, and you will find different ways to get more. And so it is with that insatiable desire for money where we are tempted with evil thoughts or, you know, evil propositions. But if we keep that principle that the love of money is the root of all evil, if we just are money hogs, then that principle will help guide us and keep us focused that if somebody come to me and say, "Hey man, I want you to go take this bag of weed around the corner, to such and such, and you're gonna get whatever they're gonna give you. They're gonna give you a cut out of it." And when you think about that, you say, "Boy, the amount of dangerous implications that are in that. I need some money, but I think I'm not gonna do that." You stick to that principle because okay, that right there can lead to all kinds of evil. And so, if persons keep that principle and refrain from things that have potential dangerous aspects to it, then that will help guide, us in the right path.
Yeah, because you're right. Because money is only as great as we place it, the value that we place on it. So us as individuals, society, is because we place a lot of value on money. Um, and many of us, um yes, we want to eat, we want a roof over our head, we want all these sorts of things. We don't want to be struggling in this society to
No.
eat a loaf of bread. Unfortunately, you got to buy it most of the time.
Yeah.
So from that practical point of view, yes, I understand. But then it goes on another level. Do we really, let's really check ourselves. Do we really need to buy all these chopper chains and sorry, Brusadelic, I forgot. No, no, no. But you know what I mean. Let's put it into context. Do we really need to get all these things and be obsessed by it? I'm not saying people can't um take pride in how they look, their appearance, and look nice. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I'm not claiming that. But then you get others that, they really do overindulge, on another level. And they will argue and say, well, I'm doing it because I can afford it.
Yeah. Do I really need the iPhone 15, even though I have the
You know,
iPhone 7 Plus? It takes great videos, great
yeah.
pictures, has a lot of memory.
Y- and to me it's like, okay, you know that you get some, and I don't have anything against any millionaires or any billionaires. I've got nothing against them. That's their money, whatever. But really and truly, when you look at it, you know how do you sleep at night when you're a billionaire or millionaire and your brother or sister is starving, your brother or sister is struggling, the people around you, close people around you, they're struggling. How do you sleep? You know, and regardless if you're really, really, really close to them, or they are close people around you. How do you sleep when you're flooded with all of this monetary, you know, and the people around you are still living in impoverished lifestyle? And then you feel, you might feel a little bit, all you do is maybe once a year go and see them and give them, I don't know, a bag of goodies, and then
Mhm.
go back to your 8-bedroom mansion, and you can only sleep in one of the bedrooms. Let,
Yeah,
let's put it into context. I'm not saying that you can't have nice things, but let's put it into context.
I think it all has to deal with what level of consciousness you're existing in, because what you're describing right there is what I like to call 3D consciousness, where it's all about the material world, what you can get for yourself. And you find when you're at that level, you think that, oh yeah, money can make me happy. No, if you're not a happy person, money is not going to make you happy. And I think of where I was like 10 years ago, to say if I were to win the lottery, I was thinking, yeah, I go buy, these cars right here, I'd have this house right there and all that. And today, if you ask me what I'd do if I hit the lottery, I would say I would pay off all my debt and then see how I could help out other people. And then what I have left over, I might buy, I couldn't see myself buying the latest, Mercedes Benz and Rolls Royce and all that type of stuff. I see myself more as maybe buying a nice truck that I can use to do stuff I still enjoy doing, like taking my bike out to Sawfields Island to go ride, or like to get some stuff to work in my garden and all that. But it was like, what am I gonna do with like 10 cars?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking
At
about. So I'm not saying that you
and
can't enjoy your money, and you
right.
can't have nice things. Yes, of course. Nobody's, then like in the Caribbean, they say, "Ah, you're being bad mind or red eye and all of that." No, it's nothing to do with that. Enjoy your money, of course, but then put it into perspective. How much money can you enjoy? How many bedrooms are you going to sleep in your 10-bedroom house?
With
How
17
you know
bathrooms.
One
you got
bedroom
15
a
cars.
day. That's right. I got my Monday
One
room,
room a
my
day.
Tuesday room, my Wednesday room, yup, my Thursday room. I got my Christmas
Yeah,
room, my
yeah.
Valentine's room. I'll find a way. And you will, Adasa, when you come to my home, you will sit on my 24 karat gold toilet, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Looking
The-
at my picture
Take
in the
you away.
bathroom.
Take you away. And then you get a very high electricity bill, gas bill. Who's gonna do all that cleaning?
That's
There's a lot of maintenance.
that's all right. It'll be taken care of.
Hey, and you have 10 different car insurances to pay.
Yep. Yes.
Well, you see it all the time with like some of these. I hate to pick on my athlete brothers and sisters out there, but I've seen it so many times. Like they had a whole series on ESPN called Bro, and it talks about these guys. And I mean, guys that signed like $40 million contracts, and now they're barely surviving. And you look at some of the habits they had. There, like one particular gentleman by the name of Allen Iverson. Um,
Mm.
he did not like packing his clothes. So what he would do every time he went out of town for a road game, he would go to the mall or whatever stores he could find, get some clothes, and then he didn't like packing, so he would just leave it behind for the cleaning staff to have that. And so, I mean, it might seem like a little bit of money for me to go out and spend like $2,000 on an outfit, if I'm making that kind of money, but that starts adding up after a while. He was one of the artists or one of the athletes out there that was on that broke program, and
Oh my
going out and buying all these crazy cars. Somebody bought like this big, mansion, and they didn't take into consideration all the maintenance costs. You know,
and it's a lot. The maintenance is
yeah, I mean, you
a
got a
lot.
whole bunch of fountains running and lights everywhere and all that stuff. I mean, you're not talking about an electric bill like $150. You're looking at maybe, a couple $1,000s for that bill every month and stuff, and all those different bills, and then your property tax and all that. And so it's like you really got to think about things in depth about, is this really necessary?
That's right.
What am
Yeah,
I doing to can I use this to make the generations behind me not have to worry again? You're just seeing a lot more people starting to shift to that. But I mean, you think about some of these guys coming out, you're 18, 19 years old, and all of a sudden you're coming into all this money.
And they're
And
paying
so,
mortgages on those houses.
yeah,
Oh
You're
yeah.
not paying for them outright.
right.
and that's so crazy with the salary that they get. The salary get. They should just buy a house outright. Easy, easy.
Let me
Yeah,
let you guys in on a Caribbean secret, okay? If y'all got some money that's an overflow, invest it in the Caribbean, all right? Because you pay less in taxes,
right.
get better deals. But in the
I was like,
US,
give me a house in the Bahamas. All right.
That's if you're gonna
mhm,
go and live there. Yeah.
yep, invest in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was on that cruise, I was thinking about like it was a Royal Caribbean, and they had their own little island, Coco Cay. And
Mm-hmm.
after like I guess a storm devastated the island, they just went ahead and purchased it for cheap, and then built it up as this place that they go, and they're making all kinds of money off of that place. And they probably got it up for pennies on a dollar what we pay for the equivalent property over here.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep. So
Tanqueray,
now,
what are
now is
you
the best
eating,
time if you have some
Tanqueray?
money to invest in the Caribbean.
Tanqueray, what are you eating, Tanqueray?
Spaghetti and this apple dessert.
Ooh, 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 with ice cream or custard.
Ice cream.
Ooh,
And I don't need none of it.
ooh, is that vanilla ice cream, Tanqueray? Ooh, but I'm waiting for my son. He said he's gonna warm up the chocolate cake and give it to me with some vanilla ice cream. I haven't seen it yet.
Mm. That will go good with the sorrel.
I know the sorrow's got. Do you see me? It's really. I've demolished it. It's gone.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
gone. I didn't really put it too high anyway, but it was very nice. Yeah, it was very nice. But I think I'll have water. I'm conscious of pronouncing water because I'm from the UK and I'm from South London, and South Londoners do not pronounce the water very well. They say water.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They say water, water. So the T's not there, the R's not there, like water, water. So when I say I really am conscious. I say to say water.
Yeah, I've heard water before.
You heard the water, water.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, as Londoners, we do not speak English in London.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We
I've,
miss out all the letters.
I've learned a lot in my 3 years of UK radio.
They say, you know what I mean? Do you know? Yes, blood. Like,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, bro. Yeah,
Do you know what
bro.
I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I'm always fascinated by that.
Yeah, they miss a lot of letters when they're pronouncing things. It's like, really? I was like, you do not speak English. Don't tell people you're English. You can't speak it at all. Wonderful. We're gonna play. Actually, we're nearly on the hour. We're nearly halfway through. So we are going to play Money We Want by Mr.J.
We got the money, yo, for the rich and the poor, we got the money. God, bless us some more, we got the money. No, but the hate us no more, we got money. Money in the millions, for sure, we got the money. Yo, for the rich and the poor, we got the money. God, bless us some more, we got the money. No, but the hate us no more.
The cattle and 1,000, they belong to him. Riches and glory for all his children. Me an evangelist, I do what them. So the money of it come in abundance.
the rich and the poor, we got the money. God bless us some more, we got the money. Nah, bother hate us no more, we got the money. Money in the millions for sure, we got the money. Yo, for the rich and the poor, we got the money. God bless us some more, we got the money. Nah, bother hate us no more.
Me brother don't tell you don't play your here. Just throw the money, not become irate. You wish and you think, but we speak and we rape. We always in the prayer, we just slumber and sleep. We got the money, get the money, get the money, get her. We are the head, not the tail, we shall always prosper. Money giver, money giver, money giver. Like Jesus Christ, we are the people helper.
Money we want, money we get. Money we want, money we get. Yeah. Money we want, money we get. Money we want, money we get. Yeah. The people in love you. I say God love you. Yeah. Man forget rich, stop each money in a bundle, but me not switch car. Them see no as I seek and sow, and so I reap and grow. Blessings are overflow. The haters them see no a price around the show. Money we want, money we get. Money we want, money we get. Money we want, money we get.
Hey, money we want.
I need that track.
Now, if I walked up to a homeless person and started dancing and giving him money, he'd probably look at me like I was crazy. Especially in Philadelphia.
But take away, they doing all these TikToks and all these things where people give money
Yeah.
away. You know, like have you seen the one where they say, should I give you £1,000 or you can keep the £1,000 or I give you £10,000, but you got to give the £10,000 to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then some of them say, boy, I need £1,000. I'll take the £1,000. So they keep it. And
Yeah.
then some of them like £10,000 to make somebody else happy. And so they say, no, give the £10,000 to somebody else. And then they get £10,000 too.
hmm
Mhm.
So, you know, that's what happens when you be generous, you know, on many occasions. You get back, you might not get it back direct like that, but you get the good fortune in some other way. You know, you get your blessings in a different way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
right.
Who do you sound like? Which DJ do you sound? You sound like someone we know already. The way that you DJ, Mr. J, you sound a little bit
Mhm.
like Bounty Killer.
That's what everybody say.
Uh,
Yeah, you sound a bit like Bounty Killer. Ah, people say that already. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I try to
Is
be
that a
I
bit
try to be
annoying? Is that a bit annoying?
not really, but I try to be my original self, my
Of
way of
course.
my natural way of expression and my voice inflection and all of that. However it comes out, then that's how I express myself musically.
Yes.
And so the way that I do it, a lot of people make that comparison. And so, you know, now if somebody wanted me to do a track and try and mimic Bounty Killer, then I would be like, I don't want to try and mimic anybody. I just want
Yes.
to be me, and I'm
Of
gonna do it
course.
like how I do it. But if I sound like that, then and people say that, then I don't have a problem with that.
yeah,
Yes.
the hook reminded me of Akon.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Hello, Gary. Welcome. Hello. How are you?
Hello, Queen. Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Please
Gary.
forgive
Hey,
my,
what's
my
up?
tardiness just getting out of the studio. So honored to join you. And happy Kwanzaa, everybody. Third day,
Yes,
Ujima,
Happy Kwanzaa.
Ujima.
collective work and responsibility.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That makes sense because I was working today and I was exhausted. It's really. I was just like, oh my goodness, I had to get through the day. But hey, it's all good. I'm still blessed, but I
Well,
felt.
Ujima is about collective work, Queen Adasa. So is there anyone to help you so it's not just you?
Right. And
I had my colleague, and we supported each other. We get on really well, so
There we go.
I had
Okay.
my
I'm
colleague, and
so
I'm
glad.
still waiting for my cake and ice cream from my son. I think I've heard him creeping in the kitchen. I
It's gonna
think so.
surprise you in a minute.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up Kwanzaa, Gary, because I was going through Twitter this morning. I don't know why I looked at that, but I just saw some comments that just seriously irked me about Kwanzaa being a made-up holiday. No, people, it's real to us, and it's about functioning as a collective unit, and it's about
Yes.
principles. It's not a made-up holiday. I could go on and on about some of them other holidays being made up and the paganism
Right.
involved in that. But this is about uplifting of our people, man.
Yes, it is. Founded by Dr. Maulana Karanga, as I know you know. This goes back to the people think that Kwanzaa is brand new. No, Kwanzaa goes back to mid 60s. And actually,
Right.
as an organized and official holiday and activity, but actually even preceded that. But Dr. Ron or Maulana Karanga, originator and creator of it, and the seven principles, of course, and he points out all the time that the seven principles are eons old. So there's nothing
Yeah,
new about Kwanzaa. It's about acknowledging and incorporating our African roots and heritage into today in all aspects of life.
exactly.
So I'm going to ask a silly question. You don't celebrate Christmas, Gary.
I'm sorry.
I said you don't celebrate Christmas, do you?
Oh, I certainly do.
Oh, you do.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
I think our last session,
Yes,
I said to everybody in advance, Merry Christmas, Happy
you
Kwanzaa, Happy
did.
New Year.
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh,
You did.
absolutely.
And
And some people, Brother Boozadelic, go there too in terms of almost seeing Kwanzaa in competition or in adversity with Christmas. Apples and oranges, not at
Right.
all. No more than Thanksgiving and Christmas or Christmas and New Year's. So people, they want to go there, so they go there, but there's no legitimacy to it.
Right. So, yeah, the way people, their MO, if they can't understand it, or if they see black people doing something productive, they want to go ahead and just make it as negative as they can and put all these false truths out there about it. I mean, if you want, like I said, if you want to look at Twitter, you'll see it on there.
Oh yeah,
They
I
talk,
have
they
seen it.
talk
I mean, and
about it
we
bad, and then
Sounds
they
of
try to
Blackness. So
talk about
we get that all the time. Everything about from just our even our name, Sounds of
yeah,
Blackness.
yeah,
Representing our people. But again, the people, that's vestiges of white supremacy. That anytime you assert blackness in a positive light, they're going to rail against it by definition. So we get that. So those that do it are just showing their own true colors. No pun intended. But yeah, the same thing happened with woke and how they try to pervert and still try to do the essence and the meaning and the vitality and the necessity of us being woke. If we weren't woke, it could cost us our lives, not knowing our situation, our consciousness, our predicament kind of people. So we have to go on in spite of that. And we do, and we will.
yeah.
And Black
oh
Lives
yes,
Matter.
And I'm so glad to see Queen Tangeray wearing her crown today.
she got the whistle. She got the hoo ha. She got
The hoo ha.
I got to give her the roof.
bow down. I'm a
Make me
lady.
bark like a
I'm a
dog.
lady. Mr. Denny, you know I come out with all sorts of strange words and
Well, I'm
phrases.
laughing because hoo-ha over here means something completely different than it means over
Right.
here.
Oh,
It could be
oh
related
my
to what we were
goodness.
talking
Oh
about at the beginning
no.
about the dance hall.
It was said in the most innocent way. I don't know what it means in the US, but it is said in the most innocent way from the UK, you know? You see the difference, you know, like we can use the same words, but it has different meanings, you know?
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
my goodness.
Ah, man. There you go with some of that caucus ruckus.
Right. Right.
Don't
Yeah.
you
That's a
mention
little thing.
that? That was the oh my goodness. I tell you the story behind that, everyone, right? I was doing my Soul City show, you know, nice and smooth and sophisticated and classy. You know, I played my nice sessions on the second half. It's a 2-hour show. I can't remember what I said at Bizadeli. I like what
You said, what kind of, we can't have none of that caucus ruckus. And I
yeah, yeah,
said,
yeah.
I messaged you, I said, caucus ruckus, what the heck does that mean?
I forgot myself, you know. I forgot myself, you know, that I'm out there in the public, you know. And I came up with one of my made up words, but it's like, yeah. Boozadelic was laughing. Yeah. Yeah. Never mind, you know. I hope the listeners didn't catch on too much.
No. That's why we keep things in the private chat.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny that day. What's this? Hello, Tori. I just want to say a big hello going out to Tori. Tori, you are locked into the After 8 show, and Soul Town, you are locked into After 8 show. Good evening going out to you and everybody else that is locked in to the After 8 show.
Yes, and to my people that watch it on tape, or not tape, but watch the video replay, big ups to Jerry, big ups to Katie.
Did any of you overindulge on Christmas Day?
I underindulged.
You
I'm guilty.
You're guilty, Gary. You overindulged.
I did. You know, I did my usual workout in the morning and didn't have any breakfast or lunch. I just had like a protein shake and my vitamins in anticipation of what was to be coming at my baby sister and her husband's house, which is where our family normally, you know, meets for Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know, family. And my goodness, they just threw down. I mean, the turkey and the greens and the ham and the everything. I mean, I could barely get to the dessert, you know, without be about 2 plates of the regular helping. But yeah, so I definitely overindulged. And then, you know, my stomach had kind of shrunk from not eating all day. So I couldn't throw down like I wanted to throw down.
Man.
You know what? I was a little bit like that. I had late lunch. I had a brunch. The late breakfast brunch. Traditional stuff, you know. In our world, we always have to have ackee and saltfish as part of our breakfast. And then dinner, we cook a lot of variety. So by the time everything comes together, it's a lot. It's a lot on the plate. Do you know? I didn't eat dessert. I must confess, I didn't eat no dessert Christmas Day because I was full. That was it. I didn't have any room for anything more. And I didn't eat breakfast or lunch the following day because I was still carrying the food from Christmas Day.
Right.
That was some food.
So
Yeah, I was not hungry at all. I just went straight into dinner on the following day because I just didn't want to be too glutton.
yeah,
Well, you know,
I suppose the
Queen
listeners out there
there's
abuse.
some within our culture. There's some regions of the country where you can't get away with that. So, for example, you know, I'm a native New Yorker, although we live here in Minneapolis, and that mom's side of the family is from Kingston, Jamaica, but dad's side of the family is from North Carolina. And I say that to say this, if you had been in the South, among our people that day kind of thing, you can't. They insist that you eat. I mean, they have this like huge breakfast which would fill you up to the next day. But then like 3-4 hours later, they're talking about and serving lunch, which is just as big. Another 3-4 hours after that, they're serving dinner, and they insist. I mean, I couldn't get up from the table. They're like, Uncle Gary, you got to have some more. So it's like, oh my goodness, and they be having stuff that we don't even hear about, up north and in the east and stuff. So they said, Uncle Gary, we got some sweet potato cake for you. And I said, excuse me, Auntie, don't you mean sweet potato pie? She said, no, baby, sweet potato. I had never heard of sweet potato cake. Am I the only one?
I've never heard of sweet potato.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
But,
Never had it.
And it was literally to die for kind of thing. But anyway, my point being is the way you said that you took off with the rest of the meal. If you were in those parts of the country, they would not let you do that.
Yeah,
I would have to literally starve the whole of December to make weight.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've got some heavy exercising to do, after the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can still feel Christmas dinner even now.
I was
It
thinking the
was
people
good.
out there probably heard me say underindulge, and like, how do you underindulge on Christmas? All right, so I did something similar to what Gary was talking about. I got my exercise in, I had a meal replacement shake, and then I have these BCAAs right here that I take to make sure I get my amino acids in. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're going by my cousin's house, and my mom tells me that he was going to make like these gourmet pizzas, and pizza's like my favorite indulgence, right? And so I get over there, and they got ham, which I don't eat, and salad. So all I had was salad for my dinner.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, they
And
didn't have
so,
any other
rabbit
meat.
food.
Okay, yes.
yeah, so that's how you underindulge, when you get kind of blindsided and thinking that you're eating something that's not going to be there.
Right.
That would have been me because I don't eat ham either. Yeah.
They didn't have any fish or poultry for you, my brother Boosie?
No, okay, so like you were talking about your North Carolina family. So my mom's side of the family, my grandmother was from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
And so, I mean, I know what you're talking about. Well, you can't get up yet. You got to eat this and that. And so that's what I was
Yep.
used to over all these years. But since everybody's kind of passed on, I mean, I only have, let's see, my mom's the only one left from her side of the family.
Mm.
And then, so my cousin, her and her husband were doing it. And, he doesn't cook like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got a real big kitchen. He normally throws down gourmet style, but this year they just kind of kept it simple. And so I'm sitting up there and I'm just like getting real hungry, and I'm trying to think, all right, don't think about food. And so finally, after I got home, there was a bar that I go to watch the sporting events sometimes. And I said, I know they're open. So I went up there and was able to get, what did I get up there? Oh, I got a grilled chicken sandwich. So I had something to actually, but it was nothing near what I would normally eat on a Thanksgiving or a Christmas dinner,
Yeah.
So how big was that grilled chicken sandwich?
It was probably about, I would say probably about a 6-ounce chicken breast. And, it was made on like kind of like a sourdough, one of those long sourdough rolls.
Mm.
And, it had the tomato and lettuce on it. So it was still a pretty light meal.
Yeah.
$18.
Huh?
Oh, man.
$18? Did it cost $18?
Nah, actually, I think it was only $9.99. They got real good prices up there.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I go up there on a NFL Sunday sometimes if I'm on indulgence, something like some French toast. I'll go up there because I can get like a 3-stack of French toast for like $5.
Oh man,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
so if
real
I
good.
yeah, if
Yeah.
it falls on a day where I've done like a leg workout, I know I burned a crazy amount of calories. I can get away with it. I'll go up there and treat myself every once in a while.
I need to
Mhm.
be able to teleport over there.
Everything else is sky high.
Yeah.
If
That is
somebody
very
know anybody from the old Star Trek movie with the teleportation machine, y'all give me a hookup. I got to teleport around there.
Yeah, beam me up.
I feel you, brother.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you have, Mr. J? Go on. I'm a bit of a foodie, so I'm just curious what everybody had. What did you have?
Well, the regular, just ham, turkey, rice, and I think some corn. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
didn't eat so much. I was going by one of my sister's house, but I decided to go too late because by that time she was out. She had already left home and she went to her in-laws' house where they were having dinner over there. I said,
Okay.
anyway, I'll just go back home and go finish watch my movie.
I do find that a lot of men, they're not so fussed about Christmas. They go with the flow, but they're not fussed. Even my own son, he's not fussy over Christmas. He's
Hmm.
just chilled. He'll enjoy it, but he's not overly excited like how a young girl or young teenager girl would be. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. Thank you, eh?
Yep, women are responsible for all that
My
Christmas
fellow
cooking.
sis. My fellow sis. I can't hear you.
Is she muted?
We can't hear you. Thank you, eh? Oh no. We still
Now
can't
you're
hear
on
you.
mute.
You're on mute, I think. Yeah,
Okay, you
you need to
unmuted,
put
but
up
we
the
still can't hear
volume
you.
though.
Love, turn up
Pump
the
up the
volume, turn
volume.
up the volume, turn up the volume.
Yeah.
How about
Pump
now?
up the volume. Pump up the volume.
How about now?
Yes,
Yes.
Got it.
So I had lasagna.
nice.
Oh,
Ooh,
My favorite.
okay.
Something different, lasagna,
yeah.
because it takes a little time because I make the sauce from scratch.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow.
and then sweet potato pie.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
I think
cool.
I need to teleport by you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
That
I
sounds
I
great.
love I love cooking. So, but yeah, Christmas I didn't want to do all that because I'll have that like on a regular weekend. So I hadn't made a lasagna in a while, so I made lasagna. So.
Okay, that's different. That's cool. That's
Mhm.
I
That's
cool.
love
real
lasagna.
different. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was
Remind me of
just
my
making
mama.
it
She would
home.
cook Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's
like
right. You East Coast. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like homemade lasagna. Homemade lasagna is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made half of the Christmas dinner. My other sister did the other half of the Christmas dinner. So I did like, what did I do? I did the ackee and saltfish. I did all the breakfast stuff. I did the macaroni cheese. I did the turkey. I did the
Oh.
turkey. Um, I can't remember. I did some. I did the coleslaw. What else did I do? I did the plantain.
Mm.
Um, I did quite a few other things, yeah. And then my sister did the lamb and vegetables. I did some vegetables as well, and she did the salad and some other bits and pieces, yeah.
So how much is that? How much of that is left over for the week?
Um, I only carried the next day. The we call it Boxing Day. The following day, I carried just enough to bring home to have dinner for me and my son. I left everything else at my mum's house.
Last
Yeah.
year Christmas we had food left over until I think the weekend. That
Okay.
weekend.
So it was quite a lot of different things, but it's probably um no, my other sister. My other sister would have made soup out of the rest of the turkey bits and pieces. She always makes soup out of the rest, but I wasn't around. I was home the next day. Yeah, yeah. So busy but bunny. I was a busy bee, cooking over the Christmas and everything, getting everything sorted out. So half and half. Me and my other sister, half and half.
Awesome.
And then yeah, and it was nice. It filled my stomach a little bit too much. Yeah.
Mhm.
Filled my lots of walks and yeah, lots of all of that for the 2024. It's a good thing I don't eat a lot in December. I deliberately don't eat a lot December month. It's like I'm making way for Christmas Day. I do that on purpose.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
speaking of 2024, um, what are you, each of you, what are your tradition is like bringing in the new year?
Oh,
I don't know who want to go first.
who
Well,
wants to go first?
my tradition is getting my rest on New Year's Eve so I can watch football all day long on on the first American football. I mean, I used to make a big deal out of it when I was younger, but then I discovered I like that people go out. You get a lot of first-time drinkers that go out there and drive and crash into people. So I renamed it Amateur Night because you get and just then you got all them
Amateur
fools
night.
out there shooting their guns up in the air. You know, those bullets got to come down somewhere.
Yep.
Yep. So I keep myself inside. I think the last time I actually went out on New Year's was 1998.
Wow.
Going into 99. We had a bunch of people came over our house in 99 going into 2000, but everybody was scared that some crazy stuff was going to jump off. So we all stayed in the house.
Right. That was the Y2K bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People thought everything was going to stop working and stuff. And
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah, people were running outside, starting their cars because they didn't think their cars would start. And
Right.
withdrawing all their money out the teller machines so they didn't think the bank machines were going to work. And
Yep.
Uh-huh.
people filling up their bathtubs because they thought the water supply was going to become contaminated. There was some crazy mess going on, man.
It sure was.
New Year. What am I going to do New Year? The Saturday, my niece is coming down with my nephews, so that will be nice. On the Sunday, which is New Year's Eve, I'm gonna spend it. I don't always spend it at home, but I'm gonna spend it at home. I'm gonna do songs and praise with my son, and we're just gonna rejoice the new year and just celebrate, have my own party, and just go through it really happy. Yeah, I'm gonna have a simple one this year. Yeah, because my intention is to have a simple 2024 and go to bed early, Adassa. Yes,
Mhm.
go to bed. Go to bed early. That's my New Year's resolution. No later than 10:30. Between 10 and 10:30, that's the latest. Yeah.
Well, I usually attend, in the black church, what we call watch night service kind of thing. And I think, and there's these amaze me how many people don't know the connection and the history of watch night because that was going into 1863 emancipation, which was going to be January 1st, 1860, and how that's tied to Juneteenth, because of course it didn't get to Galveston, Texas until 2.5 years later.
Right.
But so watch night service, obviously it's spiritual, and praise, worship, and all that kind of thing. But it's also historical. Seeing the new year, looking forward, watching. We called it watch night, watching for freedom. The next day, kind of thing. So to me, it's both a worship service and a historical affirmation and celebration for watch night. Now, I've been known sometimes, like after watch night service, to maybe hit the club after back in the day, like you say, Pusadelic. But now, man, it's like And I tell people all the time, you'll never be afraid of your people. But it's like, man, sometimes, some of us will just really cut up so bad. It's like, man, I ain't going in there. They just jumping up. But but the final thing I definitely do, whether or not I go straight home after watch night service or go out somewhere, I get home here in the U.S. on cable every New Year's even to New Year's Day, they do a Twilight Zone marathon
Oh
on the
yeah.
Sci-Fi Channel, the original Twilight Zone. And I always definitely catch some of that before dozing off. And I'll say this before I cut off. It never ceases to amaze me and how much I appreciate the late great Rod Serling, the creator and writer of Twilight Zone, because we're talking about the early '60s, and he regularly had black folks in his episodes when nobody else. That was back in the day when if you saw a black person, you would run, "Mom and Daddy, there's black people on TV." But Rod Serling, the Twilight, in fact, he did one series a show that was all black in the
Wow.
and some of the stations in the South wouldn't even play it, kind of thing. So but yet I'm trying not to get on my soapbox here, but so the Twilight Zone, of course, was a great series, but Rod Serling was way ahead of his time in terms of having us in the picture, literally.
My goodness.
Yeah. I like that you touched on that, man, because I mean, when you said that we used to run and grab our parents, say, "Look, there's somebody black on TV," it's like anytime somebody talks about something, or look, we got like a black quarterback playing in the Super Bowl, and then the white folks get upset and say, "Well, what's wrong? What's the big deal about that?" And I said, "You don't understand. There was years where we didn't see us in that position. I mean, they didn't think that we had the intelligence to play quarterback on offense or middle linebacker on defense. There were certain roles that they didn't want us to have on TV. Hell, I can remember when the first time I saw a black person in a commercial. I can, when the Isley Brothers first came out with their album, they weren't allowed to have pictures of themselves on their album. They had to have a white couple on their album. So people don't understand, that is a big significance in our history.
It is. It's really important for us as a people, as a race, to see these representations on the media and television. It really is important, and we shouldn't feel ashamed or feel, that we shouldn't voice, when we see these things, or feel embarrassed in it in any way. These things should be celebrated. We should be proud to see it, and sometimes I do think that sometimes, there are sometimes other nationalities that make some of us feel like that, but we shouldn't. Some of us shouldn't feel like that. I certainly don't feel like that at all. I'm very bold when it comes to, and it's almost the narrative behind it is almost as if to say, if we celebrate ourselves, then we're going to be aggressive, or we're going to be radical, or we're this, and it's not that. Why can't we? That is our people, that is us. You look in the mirror every day, and you want to see representation of what you see in that mirror. When you don't see that, it's nothing to do with being prejudiced or being hateful. When you don't see that, it strips something away from us. We need to see that. Everybody else sees that with their culture and with their race. We've got to see that unapologetically,
and brother MrJ, tying what you were talking about Star Trek, I know it was on a whole nother topic, but to what we're talking about right now, the great our sister who played Lieutenant Uhuru, the captain of the ship, after her first year, despite the success of the series, she was ready to quit the series because just the level of hate mail and that she was receiving and backlash from Gene Roddenberry, another progressive one that had a black woman in this, lead role, on a major TV series. And it was, a lot of people don't know this story. The word got out that she was, going to be leaving the show, or wanted to leave. She got a visit from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. and a phone call, who in essence, I'm just paraphrasing, said there are millions, of young black have never seen this before. You are too important to them and too important to our people. Sister, I encourage you, you have to stay. And so that's why she stayed on, despite like what you were talking about, Sister Dasa, all the backlash and negativity. But Martin Luther King implored her literally to stay on, despite all of that, and she did. So it's real.
Awesome. Wow.
Yep.
So what
It's
about
true.
Queen Tanqueray?
What about me?
Oh, well, I gotta ask the question. How do you guys? What is your traditional way, or what you do to bring in the new year?
Oh, well, I will be performing for New Year's. Sometimes I do go to church. I like to go to church and
Mhm.
ring in the new year, with people at church. But this year I will be performing. So I will be ringing in the new year at a venue.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Mr.
Yeah.
J, Tanquay is an artist as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
What
she's
do you
a
say?
beautiful
Rap?
singer.
What type of what genre
Rap.
you
Yes. I'm a rap artist.
you are?
Yes.
Okay.
On the rumble with the B, huh? Bzzz.
Uh,
Work it, girl.
Throw the hex
yeah.
on the whole family.
Jump a beat now. Boom.
Now I sing R&B and gospel and jazz and blues.
Okay. Okay. Well, you
Every
sounded like
sound of
you sounded
blackness.
like a
That's why
solid
we love
rapper
her.
just now. I was ready to bring up my drum and start doing that beat for you.
You don't want to hear me freestyle.
Yeah, we can rap. We should do a rap song all together. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, as for me, just like Brother Gary, I'll be bringing in the new year at church, watch night. We call it watch night as well.
Yes.
We have to make sure that we watch that clock and exactly at 12. But a lot of times the preacher was so long-winded, he went after 12, and we did not all get to say
Yep.
Happy New Year exactly at 12.
Yep.
But I'll be at church bringing in the new year, and also I'll be performing as well. We have two guest artists that will be a part of the Watch Night service on Sunday. Um, Also, I'm of Haitian background, and traditionally, the way um, New Year's is brought in the Haitian culture is a lot of persons attend church, etc. And then the morning of New Year's, let's say, like when the sun is up and everything, we had this tradition that our father grew us up with, where we all would get up together, we would pray, and we would have to say, it's in Creole. It says Bonjour la raisonne. So all of us, all the kids, we would have to get up and go say Bonjour la raisonne to our father, and we would kneel first, say Bonjour la raisonne to our father. Then he would, while we're kneeling, he would hold our hands and speak words of blessing over us, and also give us words of advice on how to live, and if whatever we were doing that was good, he would mention that hey, you're a respectful child, and
Mhm.
you have good manners, etc., etc. He would continue to encourage us to continue doing that, etc., etc. Encourage us to continue respecting our elders, etc., etc. And same thing with mom. And after that, we would go to other relatives' houses and do the same thing, say bonjour la raisonne to them, and the same thing, you know, they would encourage us, give us words of advice, and also speak a word of blessing. And that's how the Haitian culture um, celebrates New Year's, but that's like a thing of the past. We don't even do it anymore. I don't know if they
Mm.
still do it in Haiti, but here in the Bahamas, definitely we don't even practice it anymore. I haven't heard of my friends and neighbors or anybody practicing that because I don't see any kids from around the neighborhood come to our house to say bonjour lies on it to my mom, nor do we go to any houses of our elder relatives that we know to go and say bonjour lies on it to them. So that part of the culture for in the Bahamas amongst Haitian population, it's basically dead, you know. So that's like the thing of the past. But that's how we traditionally celebrate the New Year.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Awesome.
Mhm. Mhm.
And for your knowledge and information, Gary, um, Mr. J is a gospel reggae artist.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yes, sir.
we're going to play one of his next songs called Only You,
You
God.
got
Only you, God. Only you. Only you, God. Only you. Oh, only you can. God, only you. Lord, only you can save us. Hey, I tell you. God, only you can free us. That's it now. Oh, yeah. Lord, only you can save us. Hey, I tell you. You can. God, only you can free us. That's it now. On Christ the valley, rock I stand. I will not stand on no other foundation. He is strong, he's not like sinking sand. I will not dare stand on no other ground. He alone, in him my whole life is found. I was lost, but thank God now I'm found. Was sinking deep in sin, hit that rock and rebound. Newness of life, not gonna play around. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, there is something about your name. About your name. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, how I love calling your name. Lord, only you can save us. Hey, I tell you. God, only you can free us. That's it now. Oh, yeah. Lord, only you can save us. Hey, I tell you. You can. God, only you can free us. That's it now. In you alone, oh God, we trust to keep us through these storms. So many did not make it through. We trust you in these storms. Cause no one has the answers. Only you know what to do. So many questions, no answers. But you will see us through. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, there is something about your name. About your name. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, how I love calling your name. Lord, only you can save us. Hey, I tell you. God, only you can free us. That's it now. Oh, yeah. Lord, only you can save us. Hey, I tell you. You can. God, only you can free us. That's it now.
Wow.
thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
love the video. I love the video. I love the song.
Me
God,
too.
Thank
um,
you.
The
God,
song, the lyrics, the production, the video, everything, my brother. Congratulations. Touchdown.
Thank you very much. That was a
Yes,
shot with
sir.
the iPhone 7.
No need for the
That's too
15. The
funny.
7 still
That's
works.
funny. Yeah, God
Oh
conquers
God.
all. God can create all types of miracles. Yeah,
Hmm.
never give up. Anybody watching now, no matter what their situation is, never give up. Always hang on to hope. You don't know what's going to happen in the next 12 hours, the next 24 hours. All things are possible. All
That's
Oh
things
right.
yeah.
are possible. Yeah. So hang
It's
on
that
in
faith that
there.
will give us the strength to move on in the face of so much adversity and scary moments.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it does give us our strengths, our tenacity, that's what drives us, and even through the darkest hours,
Yes.
there's always a silver lining with everything. Just hang on to that. God is the master. God is the creator. So
Mhm.
God give us life. God takes it away for whatever reason. For whatever
Yes.
reason, trust in Him. Trust in Him. You know, and all is not lost because they're in a safe place. Always remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always, even through whatever you're going through, even through your grief. Some of us are grieving right now, or some of us are going
Hmm.
through challenging times right now. And us as human beings, we're not going to take that away from you. You go through your grieving process, go through your
Right.
hurt, your pain, you're human. And, I respect that. We respect that. But
Hmm.
remember, please remember, your loved ones are in a safe place.
Hmm.
They're gone
Yeah,
back to the Creator. They're in a safe place. Seek comfort in that.
yeah. But you saying that it makes me it reminds me of persons that are a part of charity work who feed the hungry, help the
Hmm.
homeless, give them clothing and that sort of stuff, and how important that type of work is, because those persons who find themselves in situations like that where they're homeless, they can't find anything to eat, buy food to eat, etc. And there are organizations and individuals that are there providing those type of needs to them. It helps them not only physically but also mentally to know that
Hmm.
there's still hope. They could have been in a dark place and they could have gotten help, even though it may not have been a big old help to say get them back on their feet and move them into a new house or somewhere that they have a roof over their head again. But it gives them a glimmer of hope, right? And if they
Mhm.
were in a state of serious depression or even feeling suicidal, that little glimpse of hope because of a kind act that somebody showed to them would spark their hope that there's still a chance for me. There's still a chance for things to get better for me. There's still a chance. There's still a reason for me to hold on. There's still a reason for me to believe that things are going to get better just because of that. And so, you know, it's very important that we remember that. That the work of charity can actually help save lives.
It really
Yes.
does. Just be kind. Be
Yes.
kind. Be kind to one another. That's the foundation of one of the fundamental. Just be kind. Have kind thoughts to your fellow brothers and sisters. Have a kind heart. Have a kind tongue. Careful. Be mindful what you say. You really don't know what that person is going through. You really, really don't know. Just be kind. It's not going to cost you anything, and it's going to
Hmm.
create so much joy to yourself and to somebody else. Be kind
Hmm.
with your tongue. Your tongue, it can be like a razor sharp, like a knife. It can create wounds. It can create injuries. I cannot stress Be kind. There's so many people say things that are reckless, that are mean. Why are you doing that? What benefit are you getting out of it? Be kind with your words. It's really important. I'm not saying that you must be Superman, Superwoman, but just at least do the basic, at least do it. And it really does make a difference. That tongue of yours, that tongue, be kind, please.
Yeah, by you saying that, um, it makes me it makes me mindful as well, that a lot of people, they suffer from self hatred, like Adasi was mentioning earlier, low self esteem. They feel like they're really nothing much is going on for them in life. Even
Mhm.
persons who have an attitude of being a bully, or who could be the most negative person in the world, but they try to they try to project this image,
Mhm.
that they're this tough character and that sort of stuff. Even
Mhm.
persons like that, if they offend, let's say they offend somebody, and the person was to say something negative to them out of anger, just
Mhm.
to retaliate and just to feel some sort of satisfaction that
Mhm.
they actually said something to the person or did something to the person to hurt the person back. Um, let's say it was somebody the bully who suffered from low self-esteem, and a negative word was said to them, even though they were the perpetrators of an act towards somebody else. And the person who was their victim retaliated by saying something very mean and nasty to them, which would cut them to the core, and they see themselves as that low down, dirty, whatever
Mhm.
description that was spewed out to them. Um, I think to myself sometimes of how it could it could trigger them in a way where they could end their life, even though they portray
Yeah.
this image of being Mr. Tough Guy
Yes.
or Big Shot
Yeah.
or whatever. But
Right.
like Adasa said, you never know
Never
what
know.
persons are really, really, really going through. And so even if we are offended in some kind of way by somebody, or we've done wrong by somebody, um, instead of wanting to have that satisfaction of retaliation that we got and
Agree.
hurting them by saying something mean to them or doing something mean to them,
Mhm.
it is important that we do remember, instead of, if we don't, like the principal says, if you don't have anything good to say, just don't say anything at all.
Yeah. Two wrongs
I
don't
try to
make a
remember that.
right. Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right. So even if someone has said something to you that's painful, you don't need to retaliate. And you know, I'm not saying that you must be their best friend, but give them
Right.
love, or
Mhm.
give them love. Just or you can say, do you know what you
Mhm.
said is very hurtful, and even if they don't want to accept it, let them know. But do it in a calm, cool way. Let them know. So you set yourself free.
Yeah.
You set yourself
Yes.
free. And then you can walk away. Just let them know in a calm, cool way. What you said was very mean. You know, it was unnecessary. It was mean. It hurt me. It actually
Some
hurt.
people would say, I don't want to hear a lot of
Oh,
wishy-washy,
yeah.
soft
Yeah,
stuff
but
you're
it
talking about.
helps the
Get out of
person.
here.
Yeah, they will say that. Some people will say that or make joke of it, but it
Mhm.
helps the person be in control of their emotions, and it helps them with their healing process. And then you can walk away because you've said what you've had to
Mhm.
say, not in a mean way. You've let them know that what they've done has hurt you, or it wasn't necessary, or it was mean, and then you leave it with them. And do you know, a lot of the times it will start to seep into that person's brain, even if they does from the outside perspective, they don't show it. They'll be like, whatever. But when they go to bed at night, you see, when you wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, you can't hide away from anybody.
Right.
You have to face your demons. Yeah, that's when you face yourself. That's when you have to have a conversation with yourself. That's when you're most honest with yourself. You can put on a show, you can wear a mask, you can do all of that in public or to people, even to your own families, even to your husband or your wife. Loads of people wear masks to people close to them. But when you're in your bed or sitting up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you know who you have to answer to? Yourself and your creator. That's where the conversation is. That's where the true honesty is. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
Preach.
'cause- yeah, I was just thinking when you were saying that, that's the difference between the higher self and the lower self. The higher
Right.
self, your soul does not lie to you. Your
Right.
lower self, your physical self, and the ego, that will tell you all kinds of lies.
Right.
And if you keep blocking it, if you keep masking, even if you keep running away from yourself, it will manifest in all different ways in your body, in your behavior,
Yes.
in
Yes.
your health. It starts
Yes.
coming out. The disease comes out in more ways than one. It's
That's
Yeah,
right.
unbelievable. It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
And that can be backed by science.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Real stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Spirit, mind, and body are one.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you got to be in coherence.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Y'all preaching today.
I am preaching because we're going to be going into 2024, my brother. And I just
Yeah.
want people to think about their self, think
Yes.
about how they project onto other people, apply mindfulness. Just be kind. Be kind with your tongue, first and foremost, your mind as well. And if you're able to, no pressure, if you're able, be kind with your actions as well. Be there for people. There are people there that are in need. They're just in need for company, a chat, just kindness. It really does make a difference. Even if you bake a cake or buy a cake or buy a drink or whatever, it's something so basic. And you share it with somebody or you bring it to their home or you post it or whatever. You know what that does to an individual?
A whole lot.
Absolutely.
A whole lot brightens up their day. That can make a difference when they're making some real ill choice decisions.
Looks like Tanker was saying something. I don't know.
Thank
It
you,
Can't
doesn't
A.
hear you,
sound like your mic
Sangre.
is muted.
Thank you, A. Put your mic on.
Turn it up. Now you're off.
You're
Think
off.
the updated microphone.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Been hearing this noise. It sound like my neighbors upstairs the whole time y'all was talking. Y'all don't hear that? Boom, 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 boom.
What
I've
was
been
that?
getting distracted the whole time because I've been hearing this boom, 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 boom,
What they're
boom.
doing? What they're doing? Take you away.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Y'all like y'all don't hear that.
We didn't hear
What are you?
anything.
What are you actually hearing?
It might be
Banging.
my Walmart microphone. I don't know. The Queen gonna have to step it up for 2024.
Do you still hear it? Whatever it is.
No,
I know. I'm just wondering. Do you still hear it?
I'm gonna go on mute right now just pretend
That
I
was your
can't hear nothing.
heartbeat.
Are they okay? Are your neighbors okay?
It wasn't the neighbors. It sound like though because I do, and I make little videos from time to time when I record it because it'd be like slow, then it'd be fast. I'd be cracking myself up. But anyway, it's not okay. It's going.
Well, as long as you don't hear any shouting or whatever, then it's something else going on.
Okay, and I ain't mad at them.
They're not fighting.
I thought maybe one of y'all was moving. I'm like, well, what are they doing? Never mind. Never mind. It's
Hmm. They're celebrating 2024 early.
you know what? I did want to ask. What did each of you learn about yourselves this year?
Oh, that's a good one.
Ladies first.
Well, I know I learned that I had to do more for me. I am a single mother, but I had to do like more self-care for me, and I had to make myself do it just for peace of mind.
Okay.
That's that.
Me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was learning. I would say it's been heightened. It's been heightened. So it's something I knew, but it's been heightened. Yeah. It's been heightened. There's quite a few things I've learned this year that sometimes you have to make decisions that are not always favorable, but you've got to make those decisions um, for the betterment of something bigger. And you don't need to do it in a horrible way. You do it lovingly, lovingly, and you do it for the right reasons. You don't need to be hateful. You don't need to be angry. You don't need to be insulting, but you do need to be firm and loving. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you shouldn't feel guilty for it if you've made sure you've done it for the right reasons. Nobody should make you feel guilty for those decisions. We can't please everyone. It's okay. It's okay. That's what I've learned. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up, Adessa. It's okay. You've done it for the right reasons. You've done it lovingly. You had to do it. There's a bigger purpose out there. That's what I learned.
Okay. Gentlemen.
Well, I guess
Well,
I've
yeah. Go ahead.
oh go ahead. Oh. I've learned that life is like a whole frequency. In order to manifest your potential, you have to be able to tune into that frequency, and sometimes you got to shut down all that chatter from those other energies out there. And I've also learned that sometimes it'll be the people that are closest to you, who you think
Mm,
are behind you, who aren't dialed into that frequency and will do everything they can to try to jam your signal so you can't maximize your potentiality.
Okay. Well, I've learned that as I'm getting older, I need to take better care of my physical body. And I discovered that after starting playing basketball, like 15, I've been out of that sport, like playing basketball, like for the past 15 years. And a guy I met, he plays with the church team, and he invited me to be a part of the church basketball team. So I took on the challenge. When I started playing, I realized how totally out of shape I am. Even though I'm working every day, I
Yeah.
do washing machine and dryer repairs. I would be moving machines around, etc. I work by myself, so I have to sometimes muscle these things around by myself in a way where I use the weight of the machine and move it around. Not to say that I try to lift them up and strain myself. I don't do it like that. And even though I do all of that physical um, activity while I'm working, but I discovered that I was completely out of shape since starting to play basketball, and also realizing that the scripture says that we are given 30 and 10 years to live, and by the reason of good health and strength, we will live to see more. And the only way that our bodies can have good health and good strength is by what we do with it, what we put in it, what we eat, what we drink, etc., etc. God is not going to take care of that for us. I
That's
mean, if
right.
there's a problem and we need a miracle, and if it's His will that He heal us miraculously, He would do that. But when it comes down to us taking care of our bodies, making sure whether we eat right, drink right, have enough rest, that's all on us. And if we don't do it, and the body starts to crumble, then we can't go running to God crying, looking for a miracle because we were negligent. And so I have learned that I have to um, be on top of that. So I began my process of changing my diet, eating more nuts and fruits, vegetables, drinking a whole lot more water, staying away from greasy foods and that sort of
Hmm.
stuff.
That's good. Good.
Excellent. I think for me, a new level of what I already knew, just how God is omni, uh, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, all powerful, all present, all knowing. Um, it's so funny, and I know, Brother Jay, you can relate to this. How oftentimes during devotional prayer, the person will ask God to come in. It's like, no, He's already here. What are you doing? Kind of thing. We do that all the time. He's everywhere. He's in all of us, and it just really, really coming into knowledge and awareness and sensitivity about that He knows everything, He is everywhere, and is in control of everything, and how that manifests itself in His own time. So just coming into a greater knowledge and awareness about that.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a really good question. Thank you, Ray. That was a really good question. Um, just to round it up, and I knew it before, but and I've got so many examples in my life. My greatest strength is love. My greatest strength is love and patience, because when things happen and I get upset or angry, it doesn't serve me any justice. I make the wrong decisions, and it weakens me. But when I take a deep breath and I do the right thing, even under the most challenging of circumstances, even when the other person is being really horrible,
Mhm.
but I still stand firm and do the right thing and say the right thing. And I would be upset, because we're allowed to be upset, but I keep my cool, say the right thing, do the right thing. That is where your strength lies. That's where my strength lies. And things work out much, much, much better in my favor.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's what you call strength, in my view, for me.
Yeah, it is because it takes a lot of strength to do it.
Yeah. Well, Odunde, everyone. That's
Yeah.
Yoruba for a Happy New Year.
Happy New
Sounds of
Year.
Blackness sing a song called Odunde. I'll send it to you. Um,
Send it to me. Then we can play it
yes,
next week. We can play it
yes.
next week on our next show where we have our next guest. Yes, we will play it next week, Gary.
All right,
Definitely. Send
all
it to
right.
me.
So Odunde,
How do you
o,
pronounce it? Odunde.
Odunde,
Ondu,
Odunde.
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 All right, Odunde. And in
Odunde.
the it's Happy New Year, but in a broader sense, of course, African theology is always in a broader sense, not
Yeah.
just of the night, but the new beginning, giving thanks for the new beginning of the new year, and all that entails that God has given us. So just like whether it's one word, whether it's Ubuntu, or saying Kofa, there's a whole philosophy and theology with that, that beyond just the one word. So Odunde.
Odunde.
Hmm.
Odunde, everyone.
Happy New Day.
Thank you. Thank you, my beautiful brothers and sisters. Look, you are so beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
Look who's talking.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you as well for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You are
Yes.
welcome, Mr. J.
You could be a regular panelist, man.
Yeah, my brother.
Do you know what I'm saying, Mr. J? Do you know what I'm saying? We'll talk. We talk. You fit in. You fit in.
Yes.
All right, all
Yes.
right, all right. No problem. You say every Thursday?
From 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. UK time. Come
All right,
and
man.
join us. So everybody have a wonderful, happy new year. Enjoy yourself. Do the right thing. Give love, blessings to yourself, to others.
Yes. And
Thank
happy
you.
Kwanzaa.
Yes.
We're out of here. Bye for now. Thank you.